preparation that we're doing. Okay, so let's start with the contract specifications.
Yeah, the basic objective of the entire session is to learn about the functioning of currency derivative segment, which is currency futures.
Right.
So, and we have already explained that the difference between a future and a forward contract is that a future contract is a standardized contract.
Absolutely.
Right? So when we talk about standardization, we have to look at the specification.
The specifications that have been laid down.
Yeah. What are what are the specification of the contract? Okay. So starting with the contract size. So the contract size under a currency future contract, which covers your USD INR, is $1,000 is a contract size.
So that has been specified. The contract size has been specified, which can be seen here.
Yeah. So minimum contract size is your $1,000, and you can take contract in multiple of $1,000. Okay. So if you want to hedge your risk of say $5,000, right, you need to take 5 contracts.
Okay.
So it has to be in multiples of 1,000.
So for example, let's say somebody has to. I mean, so minimum this means is that 50,000, around 50,000 is what we're looking at in Indian rupees.
Yeah.
So around 45 to 50,000 rupees is what you're looking at,
yeah,
from the contract size.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the next thing is tick size. What is a tick size? Tick size describes the minimum increment or decrement which has to happen in the market. Right? We'll discuss tick size later. The tick size here is rupees 0.0025.
Okay, so what you mean to say is that, for example, let's say it's been traded at 45 rupees. And then there's an increment which happens. The minimum increment that can happen is 45.0025
rupees.
Okay, and that, so basically the tick size is that it measures that increment or the decrement that we just mentioned.
Yes.
And that will be minimum this one, 0.0025
rupees.
Perfect.
Price bands are not applicable. We'll also discuss about price bands later.
Okay, so this to be later.
Yes.
We'll just mark. Trading
cycle is maximum 12-month trading cycle. Trading cycle is the maturity of the contract which is available in the market.
So I can't take a 15-month
no, you
futures.
The only maximum limit is your 12-month.
15-month futures is not possible because the trading limit, the trading cycle has already been set at 12 months.
12 months. So for example, you are in June.
Okay.
The maximum maturity of the contract which would be available on a future exchange would be a contract which ends in May.
Okay.
So in June 2011.
May 30. So let's say 1st of June.
Yeah.
End date is 31st May.
31st May. So on 1st of June, you have a contract with a maximum maturity of 31st May 2012.
Yeah.
So you will have 12 contracts for each month. And so maximum 12 contracts.
So you can actually have 12 contracts for each month.
No, 12 contracts all in all, which while each contract symbolizes for a particular month.
Yeah, maximum maturity. I mean, we're looking at, for example, if you are let's say an exporter and you want to hedge your annual risk. So on 1st of July you can take maximum till 30th June and yes, so on and so forth.
So on and so forth.
So you can take 12 contracts and maximum time limit which has been specified is 1 year.
1 year. So at any point of time you will have 12 contracts wherein you can trade. Right? Not more than that.
Right. So you can naturally. So you can trade in maximum is 12 contracts that you can trade in.
Yes.
Perfect.
That is your duration.
Yeah.
Right? Next, very important thing is your value date and final settlement date. Right. So the last business day, excluding Saturday of the month, it is the same that for interbank settlement in Mumbai. So this is very important. We have to distinguish between expiry and a settlement date.
Absolutely.
Right. Your final settlement date would be last business day of the month.
Right.
And your expiry date would be last day on which trading is allowed.
Right.
And it is 2 days prior to the final settlement date.
Okay.
Now we distinguish between both expiry date and final settlement date through a example. If we can move to that notepad.
Let's just go to the example that Girish wants to explain.
For example, we have a contract for month of June.
Contract June.
Right. So for a June contract, the settlement date would be the last business day of the month.
Settlement date will be, so let's say this is on the 1st of June that we're looking at.
Yes.
Settlement date would be 30th June.
Yes, 30th June, because 30th would be a Thursday.
30th June 2011.
Yes.
If it were a Saturday, it would have been on 29th June.
29th.
Because it is a Thursday.
Working day. Basically, it's a working day. It's not a holiday.
So Sundays are also, Sundays are Saturday, the last Saturday and the Sunday is not included.
Yeah. It has to be a business day, basically.
Last Saturday and Sunday not included.
It has to be a business day. Even if it's a Thursday, but if it's a holiday, a national holiday,
Yeah,
it will move to Wednesday.
it is a business day. Perfect. So this is a very important thing. It has to be a business day. Yes.
Right. So when you're talking about this contract, which you've taken on 1st of June for a
Right.
June month contract,
Right.
your settlement date would be 30th June, which would be a business day, last settlement day.
Right.
And your expiry date.
Your expiry date.
Now, what do you mean by an expiry date? Means that you cannot trade in that particular contract.
Right.
Right. Would be 2 days prior to this settlement days.
The contract, that particular one, expires on that day. So
Expire
this
means you cannot trade in that.
So this
contract.
will be
2 days
two
prior
days prior
to the final settlement.
to final settlement date.
In
In
this
our
case,
it will be a Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
It's or
Which
the
is
28th June,
28th June.
which will be a Tuesday. If 28th June were a national holiday, then it would be
Then
27th.
Yeah, it would have shifted to 1 day prior to that.
Again, so it has to be business day. That's
Business
another important clarification and notation.
Right.
So I'm quite sure the students would have understood
Yes.
that important thing, settlement date,
Is when your contract would be finally settled,
yes, and expiry date is when the contract expires.
expires. You cannot trade in that contract. So, for example, if we take this example, we have bought this contract at say 45.500.
So let's put notations here. 45.00.
Okay, this is the price at which we have bought this contract.
Right.
Right. And we haven't sold this contract, we haven't done anything in this contract, and this contract expires.
Right.
Right. So at the settlement date, you'll get the difference between your buying price and the settlement price.
So the settlement price was, let's say, 45.20.
20.
So you would get,
So on 28th of June,
right,
you stop trading in that contract. You
Right.
cannot further sell this contract.
right,
And on 30th of June,
you would be paid.
you will be paid the difference. Yeah.
So basically, this 45.20 would be the price as on the expiry date,
Yes.
which is the same, and there will be no trading in the contract.
Right.
And the settlement, so this difference that you make,
Yes.
because you've gained a profit here of 0.20, that would be paid to you
Yes.
on settlement date,
On settlement.
which is the 30th in our case.
Right.
So I'm quite sure that although this looks a little untidy, but I'm quite sure that it clears the concept.
Yes. You have to
What
be
we're
very
trying to say.
specific about what expiry means and what your settlement means. So when your contract expires, it settles in T plus 2 days, which we
Right.
have already discussed. The normal settlement time in our Indian market is T plus 2 days, which
Right.
is transaction plus 2 days.
Right.
So that is the same system followed in the currency futures market.
Right. In a nutshell, I mean, I think this example clears it. So
Yes.
when you're saying that on 1st of June at 45 you bought a contract,
Mhm.
and it is expiring on, let's say, the June is the last month.
28th June.
It will in any case expire on 28th of June.
Yes.
And the trading will stop in that contract. So if the value was 45.20 on 20th of June, that is the final price for that contract.
And then
And
your
that will be
contract-
paid on the settlement date, which is 2 days later to the expiry date.
Right.
So I think that is what we are basically meaning with this line.
Yes.
Perfect.
So these are your contract specification, settlement. We have done value date, final settlement date, and expiry date.
Yes. So now we have to do the settlement basis and the settlement
Basis.
price.
Yeah. So settlement basis is your in currency futures market. You have daily mark to market settlement on T+1 basis, and final settlement will be cash settled on T+2 basis, which we have already discussed.
So I think we'll have to explain the mark to market, which has not been, which is a new term.
Yeah, mark to market settlement.
So let's try and understand mark to market.
If we can recall our discussion which we had between while we were differentiating between the forwards and futures,
right,
or OTC and exchange traded instrument, we said that on exchange traded instruments, the exchange ensures that there is no third counterparty risk,
right,
and it ensures by marking to market. Now what do we mean by marking to market?
Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, for example, you have bought a contract at say 45 rupees.
Okay.
At the prevalent price of 45.
Let's say 1st June 2011, you bought a contract of 45 rupees. Yeah.
This was the price prevalent in the market. At the end of the day, so for example, the closing price is 45.10.
Opening price, the closing price was 45.10, which is a CP for 1st of June 2011.
Yeah, closing price. So now in this contract, you are making a profit of 10 paisa.
Naturally, so the profit is 0.10 in for that day.
Now the most important thing which you have to keep in mind is that you haven't still sold that contract,
right?
But notionally you are making a profit of 10 paise.
So let me write this down. You've not sold,
but notionally.
But notional profit is there.
Notional profit is there. So this notional profit would be credited to your account.
So you're saying that this notional profit,
it has to be necessarily credited to your account.
Credited to your account. At the end of the day.
And this practice is known as marking to market.
And this is called marking
to market. In short form, you also call it as MTM.
Market or MTM. Understood.
Same goes with if you are making a loss, your account will be debited.
So if the loss situation where it says 45.00 OP opening price and becomes 44.90 CP, then 0.10 would be debited to your account, which is again a notional loss. As it's a notional loss, and this is also MTM or marking to market. Perfect.
The logic behind this is that at the end of the day, you are not carrying something forward, right? If you are incurring a loss, you are paying it. If you are
the counterparty risk that we are talking of, that minimizes because it's happening on a everyday basis. So the this is just another way of making sure that the counterparty risk.
It is one of the most important measure adopted by the exchange to ensure that there is no counterparty risk.
So it's like the most important measure.
Yeah. And this whole practice is known as MTM, marking to market.
Absolutely. So this is absolutely clear. Let's go back to our slide where we were talking of specifications, and so MTM is clear now.
Yeah.
So you're saying the MTM settlement on T+1 basis and final settlement of cash T+2 basis. So in the previous example that you are showing, you're saying that 0.10, that was the profit, will be debited, will be credited to your account in T+1 day.
Yes.
That's what you were saying.
Yes. For example, we have done that transaction on Monday.
Right.
So by Tuesday, it would be credited or debited to your account respectively.
Absolutely. And so that 0.10 will be credited to your account if it's a profit.
That was the case where we had not sold our contract.
Right.
We were still in that contract.
Understood.
Yeah. But if we had sold that contract,
or it has been settled automatically, it will happen on a T+2 basis, which was naturally we've discussed in our expiry date and settlement date as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And the settlement price, very important. Daily mark to market settlement is done on daily closing price, while the final settlement is done on the RBI reference rate for last trading day of the contract. So
very important. MTM is always done on the closing price. Whereas the settlement price which happens, which is the final settlement price of a contract, is the reference rate.
RBI reference rate.
A reference rate issued by the central bank, in our case RBI.
On the last trading day of the contract.
On the last trading day. Last trading day or the expiry day.
Yeah, expiry day.